the topic innovations in insurance billing and payment infrastructure with a special guest, Sean Quincy, who is the CEO and co-founder of Symphony based in New Zealand. Sean is a payments expert known for his buy now, pay later venture, which was later sold to Latitude in 2019. His passion for innovation led to Symphony's inception, targeting insurance payments. Symphony aims to digitize and streamline insurance payments, prioritizing customer preferences and integrating with industry software. Beyond transactions, Symphony sees payments as vital to service consumption, aiming for seamless experiences. Their vision includes intuitive insurance payments, enhancing customer understanding and engagement for sellers. Sean's journey reflects a commitment to elegant payment solution, positioning Symphony to revolutionize the insurance payment landscape with user-friendly and efficient processes. We all understand how important an infrastructure is when it comes to payments. And today we are going to touch upon from a different angle that how important and how better and efficient it should be when it comes to insurance and how transactions happens in this industry. With that, Sean, a warm welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for that kind introduction. We love insurance, and we absolutely love payments and innovating in and around that space. So I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great topic. I mean, we of course talk payments primarily, from the banking side of it, right? And it'll be interesting to understand some viewpoints and insights that how it's happening, especially how it's innovating in the insurance space. So with that, Sean, my first question to you is, how are Insurtech companies leveraging technology to enhance the efficiency and transparency of insurance billing and payment process?
Absolutely. Well, when you think about payments and you think about how they fit inside the insurance sector, we've got so many different types of risks which we need to accept transactions from policyholders to pay for the coverage. What is fascinating for us and why we're so excited about playing in this particular space is that billing and payments are the number one inbound question from policyholders. They are the number one, I suppose, challenge organizations have in scaling. So insurance companies have in scaling up that experience. And they're also the number one tool to attract, retain and convert customers for insurance policies. So we feel like, and our data is telling us that payments are the number one customer experience that we've got to get right to distribute and manage insurance companies really, really well. And so it's a real privilege to be able to tackle this. So what we're really finding is when it comes to payments, there are two core experiences and two core customers we have, and that's the operator and the administrator, and then the policyholder. And so they intuitive tools to make quick, seamless transactions occur so people know what policy they're paying for. They're being given highly flexible, easy payment options across multiple payment methods so they can pay for their policies quickly. And sometimes you've got to remind yourself as a payments company that you are providing a quick and seamless way for someone to transact and not get too caught up in your own systems and processes. And then all of those payments coming in have to provide seamless, really nice, beautiful experiences for the administrators and the operators. And so what we are seeing and what we are evolving as the company Symphony is the connection between those elegant customer experiences and the integration into invoicing and digital invoicing for those clients, and then matching all of those various transactions from the various payment methods into the operator experience. One of the key findings was when you look at B2B payments and how simple transactions are coming into policy management software or broker management software, the biggest problem that we were solving is the connectivity of those payment events from customers directly into those various policy management or broker management software platforms to provide that real-time visibility. And so that's kind of where we started, and that's where the innovation of those workflows is really continuing. So we're helping more customers pay faster and operators to be able to manage more and more customers and provide digital self-service for those payment queries. And that was sort of the very beginning of the Symphony journey.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, some valid points, and it's very curious to, understand, when we talk about billing, we as a consumer, as an end user, we really try to think about, the efficiency with respect to how, fast the payments happen, the transparency, and of course, there shouldn't be any sort of a, cyber fraud in the process. And in banks, of course, transactions happens much more often than in the insurance side of it, right? Of course, because of the nature of the business. But when we really try to talk about, claims payments or any sort of payments transactions happening between the policyholder to the broker and then the final insurance provider, right? So we, or perhaps if we go back a couple of years back, it would certainly take, days and weeks to really complete the entire cycle of transactions. And now I believe, of course, with the online payment, concepts coming in, it'll be much quicker. But do you see any sort of challenges when you really come to the backend infrastructure? You know?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about payments, it's very easy to jump to the credit card gateway transactions or the bank account to bank account transfers and focusing on that. But what you've identified there in terms of the back office integration is really what we have decided that our tool set of sort of 6 different features will address. It is that connectivity, it is the connection in the API set with those core infrastructure systems and processes. That is the biggest problem. To collect a payment is still simple, and there's lots of different providers, but the workflows in and around reconciliation, the making sure that the policy is matching to the payment, having seamless flows for a policyholder to accept endorsements, and when it comes to renewals, allowing them to roll over, and if there is a premium increase, elegantly present that to the client for digital acceptance, and then push that back into the back office is absolutely the challenge. And we were faced with a number of these particular challenges where we had an underwriting agency, so hopefully the terminology is the right, but a seller who was selling boat insurance and making
Yeah.
sure we were connecting there were 7 different systems that Symphony needed to provide workflows into. And that was across customer self-service, arrears management, reconciliation, the core actual payment itself, accepting the transaction, and then mapping that to the billing and reporting system. And so when we say we deal with insurance payments, it's really we are a workflow company and we have to deal with those. And anyone playing in the space must be dealing with all those various workflows that support the organization and the nature of insurance premiums. And insurance premiums, whether we like it or not, are wonderful, nimble, complex transactions that shift and move and upgrade and downgrade, and then people bundle more policies under one, and that's why we just love it, because we're so niched in that particular space of dealing with all those various nuances. So it's totally about workflow management and
Yeah. Yeah.
delivering and that's insurance payments. Really, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. That's a very, important point that you highlighted on the workflow management. I think that, the industry must definitely, understand, look at it, and get more, what do you say, vocal about it, right? To really address the challenges. With that, Sean, my next question to you is, can you discuss some of the most promising innovations in insurance billing and payment infrastructure and how they're addressing the long-standing challenges within the industry?
Absolutely. Yep. Look, and this is what gets us very excited. When we start looking into some of our clients, and we have direct insurers, brokers, TPAs, and agencies, we start with the touch points currently involved with their payment systems and how they're collecting payments. And so a recent implementation we did to collect and reconcile a transaction, there was 36 manual processes involved with this particular customer. So 36 times an operator needed to do something, whether it was dragging across the PDF, whether it was pulling down an Excel CSV file to upload into something else. There was all of these manual steps, and we were adding them all up, and it was hours and hours of time. And once that compounded across tens of thousands of customers, you were looking at weeks and months of time every year. And so reducing those touch points, as basic as it might seem, has been one of the most exciting things in terms of watching us being able to totally revolutionise internal systems and processes, and allow those operators and administrators to really actually start enjoying their roles a lot more, which has been quite great. When I look at true innovation that is outside the realm of just introducing digital efficiency and automation, we recently launched an AI tool for digitally negotiating for arrears management. And so it's been just awesome to be able to see AI being implemented into some of those core functions like collections and arrears management, because basically that is one of the biggest sort of touch points is customer inquiries about moving payments or making catch-up payments for previously missed transactions, or wanting to move a payment day from a Monday to a Friday. And so creating the right AI workflows that will discuss that with the customer, present them with the more affordable payment options to retain more over time, takes a huge amount of work out of an organization, replaces it with some AI tools, and retains customers longer and empowers them to, I guess, fix the problems that they want faster, which drives NPS. So everyone's happier. People are getting the insurance coverage they need. Operators have a more enjoyable task, and AI is coming to enhance the overall customer experience. And it's one part of the journey that we're doing that in. But that's been fascinating to watch, just the amount of queries people are able to get done, and how that's been able to change people's lives in terms of just being happier and enjoying their insurance experience more.
No, absolutely. When we really talk about this payment system, right? And of course, if we see now there are a rising number of, methods, the way payments being done, including payment gateways, various sort of an infrastructure coming in, various level of IT operations playing in, and so on and so forth. So how do you see insurers, perhaps in the Asia Pacific region, if I have to focus, are really building upon their ecosystem readiness to implement any sort of digital infrastructure for making the payments more efficient?
Yeah, well, I think there are a lot of incumbent core platforms, and this is a pain point across our entire sector. There are large platforms, legacy infrastructure, and really the biggest challenge for those operators is how do they effectively and in a low risk way execute on change and execute on transformation without hugely exposing their organization to a massive lift and shift style project, which might cost them in the tens to 20s of millions of dollars, and just this huge organizational and operational risk in that process. What we have seen is that the core payment systems are fine. Like, they're actually quite good in terms of the being able to process a transaction and move money from one spot to another. That's totally fine, and it does come back down to the workflows that are ingesting the outcomes of those transactions, which is where Symphony certainly comes in. When you've got a new fintech or a new technology that is there to change or implement systems, the ability for those large organizations and incumbents to be able to deploy solutions to subpopulations or to be able to deploy modules of a large platform incrementally over a period of time, we feel is quite critical, because if they are going to change and if they are going to evolve, then to do it all at once is huge risk, right? And so what we have done is we've basically put our platform into 6 different modules that can be deployed over time, and so they can de-risk the implementation of evolving their payment solution and customer service solution and billing in a lower cost, lower risk type of way. And I think that's important for all insurtechs and even the large operators across the world, as they're looking to change. There is no need to do a full lift and shift type of style evolution overnight, and that they have to look at modular deployment of systems and how they can evolve a little bit slower. And that's just a far safer, easier way to do it over time. So that's what we're noticing, is that just being able to deploy in that particular way is a really good advantage.
And I think this can really touch upon the entire value chain, right? Starting from the accounts management to reconciliation to payments, claims, and your billing part per se, right?
Absolutely. And look, that is Insurtech in my view, and you've absolutely got it right. Is there are so many fragmented parts of the value chain, and where I see Insurtech working is there are amazing innovations for those various different elements of the value chain. And you've seen some, there's the Boltech and a few others who I think are doing a very good job of identifying that some things that they can do and some things that they can't, and so they are trying to find the best operators around the world and pulling them together. And that's the wonderful thing to see, is these amazing innovations in those particular focus areas. And so that's what's exciting, is I guess if you are a large insurer at the moment or a distributor, you can kind of, it's like a smorgasbord of amazing products to pick and choose from to build your ultimate customer and operator experience. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my last question too is, Sean, we of course see various emerging technologies coming in, but in particular to some of them which is more relevant to the insurance sector is, what role does blockchain, AI, and machine learning play in revolutionizing insurance billing and payment system, and what are the potential implications for insurers and policyholders alike?
Well, this is an exciting, scary, and very rapidly evolving space, and so I think whatever I
Something
say,
on the outlook side, if you really want to touch upon, that'll be great.
yeah, no problem. I just think whatever I say in half an hour, maybe it might have changed because it's so quick. But look, what I've had a wonderful couple of days at Insurtech Connect Australia, which is the largest Insurtech conference in Australia, and the AI innovations there. And basically, the whole conference was about AI and blockchain and how and what we can do. And you could see the whole room was sort of full of fear as well as excitement about the opportunities. When I kind of look at it, I think there are so many AI use cases, from claims management to just all the customer touch points that we have, the ability to automate the interactions with customers and scale service and empower customers to make decisions by themselves faster than ever before, are the core things that I look at, because we can jump into all the features for digital negotiation, advice, claims management, and creating all the various audit trails that they can on blockchain. I'm yet to see someone totally wrap it all up into one beautiful, elegant experience. One of the coolest things I saw yesterday actually was I'm trying to describe a real person that talks with you, negotiates your particular policy. So it was a full AI-based basically broker that talked to you on a screen and came up with the best set of policies. And it was quite bleeding edge in terms of AI providing insurance advice. And it was a proof of concept. But I just thought, wow, that was pretty amazing. The intuitiveness, the insight, the conversational capacity of this particular AI-based digital broker. And they could take you all the way through the quote and bind process. So I love that. That was cool. And as all these new features and functions emerge, I think we're just going to have to stand back and wait and see and make sure we are leading edge, but not bleeding edge in terms of these things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, of course, when it comes to blockchain, we really think about how it can really protect the transaction, make it more free from any fraudulent activities and, cyber fraud and etc. And of course, AI ML is more on the efficiency and automation. And I'm curious to know how the more fancy terms like Gen AI, which is on board now, is going to really help this value chain and where it really fits in. So
it is really challenging because
that's what everyone is talking about now. Even though it's really can be implemented or what real value addition it has, but the talking point is just that now.
No, I agree, and I think everyone sits there and goes, "What do we do, and how do we do it, and when are we going to do it, and how's it going to impact us?" And I think the most common use case is, that everyone seems to be deploying bots for customer queries, and that's where we'll start, and that's where you want to see how that's all going to work. With payments, where you've got to be a little bit careful sometimes in the integration of those, is most standard payment rails are particularly standardized. So Visa, MasterCard, bank-to-bank transfers, and you've got some new wallets emerging around the place. Well, they've been around for quite a while, but payment acceptance of the new payment methods into insurance are still quite rare. And so we're amazingly, like the rest of insurance, pretty traditional in terms of not wanting to disrupt the standard method of transactions coming in. And so for us, absolutely, and for payments, AI is going to be based around customer servicing, payment inquiries, arrears management, and then operator experience, so providing recommendations up into the operators about what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Yeah, and so those two experiences, and the blockchain will evolve more and more, but if we're able to capitalize on blockchain in terms of being able to provide that audit trail of events, centralize all that information, and so absolutely what you're saying around fraud and compliance will reduce. But in saying that, we have a very international global standard of PCI DSS, the payment card industry data security, which is pretty much the biggest and most widely used standard for payments for security. And so we double down on that kind of stuff. So it is going to be a fascinating space. And all I hope is that it dramatically improves operator and administrator experiences and the policyholder experiences when it comes to payment management and all the different other features.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the time for AI and Gen AI now. And down the line, other technologies like blockchain and all will definitely evolve. With that, Sean, a fantastic discussion, and thank you for sharing your thoughts today. A true delight to have you as our guest.
Well, thanks so much for having me. And if you get down to Australia, New Zealand, we'd love to see you all. And thank you.
Absolutely, it will be my pleasure. And lastly, to wrap this up, thank you for listening to the Insurtech Story podcast, and see you at our next episode. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye for now.